Everybody, just wanted to do some videos on some of the supplements included in the program, why they're in the program, what are some of the benefits that we get from using these supplements, the timing, and just to give a little bit more education about these items as they're an important part of the product. Everything we gathered and included in the program are pretty important, and they perform certain functions that help us to, again, shed body fat, improve our health, performance, those kind of things. And one of the main products that we use in this protocol, which is not used in a lot of, or any other protocol that I'm aware of, is exogenous ketones. Exogenous ketones are a new supplement. They just came on the market about 3 years ago. This is one of my can't live without supplements. I've been on exogenous ketones for almost 3 years, be 3 years in September, every day, taking exogenous ketones first thing in the morning as a way of putting my body into a state of ketosis. Ketosis is what happens when we start breaking down body fat for fuel. Our bodies turn stored body fat, takes it to the liver, and converts it into ketone bodies. There are 3 major ketone bodies. One is called acetone. A lot of times you can smell that if you've been fasting for an extended period of time. Acetone shows up in the breath. A lot of breath meters that measure ketones, that's what they're measuring, is acetone in your breath. The second form is what's called acetoacetate. So if you're using urine strips to test for ketosis or ketone bodies, acetoacetate is what's being recorded. And finally, it's beta-hydroxybutyrate, also known as BHB. That's what these particular ketone salts from Metagenics is. Again, I use Prove It ketones as well. They're also beta-hydroxybutyrate. That's the ketone body that we're after. That is the one that's been shown to have a lot of the health benefits, and is the beta-hydroxybutyrate. Beta-hydroxybutyrate ketones were first used a few years back in helping people struggling with seizures. And part of this came from the Naval Department, as Navy SEALs were spending a lot of time underwater with rebreathers. They would have seizures. And they found that if they put these divers on a ketogenic diet, limiting the carbohydrates that they consume and putting them into a state of ketosis where ketone bodies are present, that these seizures didn't happen. And so ketones have also been used in helping epileptic patients with seizures for many years. Ketogenic diets as well. They help kids that are struggling with seizures to not have seizures when the ketones are present. Ketones provide additional oxygen, additional energy on less oxygen than you normally get from glucose metabolism. Your body can run on 2 forms of fuel. It can run on glucose, which is sugar, blood sugar, also known as glycogen, and it can run on ketones, which is comes from fat metabolism. Protein metabolism breaks down into amino acids, which gets used for muscle repair, muscle building. So in your body, you've got carbohydrates, fats, proteins. Carbohydrates turn into glucose, fat metabolism turns into ketone bodies, and then protein metabolism is usually converted into amino acids and used for building structure. So ketone bodies are very beneficial in providing an energy source that the body can use that is not coming from sugar or glucose, carbohydrates. So your body uses this to be able to produce energy when there's a lack of carbohydrates. So when you fast, when you go long periods of time without food, your body's ability to break down body fat, turn them into ketone bodies, and use them for fuel is amazing. And it's a fuel source that we've used as human beings for millions of years. It's what our DNA and our ancestors have always used, because food has never always been as abundant as it is today. Food was always kind of harder to come by, so there was always times of kind of feast and famine, and ketones were a much more common form of energy in our ancestral past. So the Naval Department began producing exogenous ketones as a way to help their divers to avoid strokes and seizures when they were using these rebreathers. So exogenous ketones since then have proven to have a lot of additional benefits. Again, they provide more oxygen and energy on less fuel than glucose. They have great benefits if you are a endurance athlete. They're really good fuel source when you're not running at sprinting full out. You know, a lot of those things are glycolytic. They require you to tap into glucose because it needs a fast burn. Ketones are a much slower burn. They're kind of like charcoal on a fire, where they catch fire and burn for a long, slow time. It's a long, steady fuel, whereas glucose is a lot like kindling or lighter fluid that burns really, really hot, really fast, and then burns out. So ketones also aid in sleep and mental health. As you get older, your brain becomes more what's called insulin resistant. And so as people age, it's harder and harder to get fuel into your brain cells because your body becomes insulin resistant, requiring insulin to get fuel from the blood into the cells. Ketones, on the other hand, do not require insulin to enter a cell. So they can cross the blood-brain barrier, they can enter into the brain cells in the absence of insulin, providing additional fuel for your brain without needing insulin. And so this is really big, especially as we age. Again, it provides fuel source for our brain that we're not getting. So other people who are struggling from like Alzheimer's or dementia, traumatic brain injury can also really benefit from supplementation with exogenous ketones. They really help support, again, mental clarity. They help lift brain fog. They help provide energy source. Ketones are water soluble, so whatever your body cannot use is not stored as fat. It gets eliminated out of the body. The more you use ketones, the more you provide your own body with ketones through fat metabolism, the better your body gets at utilizing and uptaking ketones. And so the more you use them, the better you become at utilizing them for fuel. And really what we're after is what's called metabolic flexibility. We want to be able to use carbohydrates, proteins, and fats when we need them and in a way that benefits our body. And so supplementing with exogenous ketones, again, has so many benefits: digestion, sleep, energy, focus, lifts the brain fog, endurance. We go on really long backpacking trips through the mountains. Sometimes Annalie and I will do 30 plus miles in a day with a lot of elevation gain, and all we're consuming are exogenous ketones. And they're great because, like backpacking, you can put them they're in a little envelope, throw them in your water bottle, get the water out of the stream, filter it, and shake it up, you're good to go. And it provides a great fuel source and almost no weight. And so we've really loved using exogenous ketones in our lives. We love the benefits that they provide, the energy they provide, the mental focus they provide. This is an amazing new discovery, great supplement. It's something that I would recommend not just during the program, but again, moving forward in your life. This is a game changer. Ketones are a signaling molecule. They signal to the body that you're in a state of ketosis, signals to help burn fat. Ketones help bring toxins out of fat cells, energy out of fat cells. There's just so many benefits to exogenous ketones. It's why they're included in the program. Again, it's why they don't affect weight loss, even though they're supplying some additional calories, additional energy on the diet, is they are just a quick energy fuel source that provides long, sustained energy. And again, they're so beneficial on so many levels. So that's why they're included in the program. That's why they are again, a supplement that I would recommend not just on the program and the protocol, but to look at moving forward in your life to see if they'd be of benefit moving forward. So if you have any questions about ketones, ketosis, email me, contact me. I'd love to answer those for you. We can do those on the Q&As on Monday as well for the group. So if you have any questions, love to answer those. Talk to you later, guys. Thanks. Bye.